Hello and welcome to The Fool and the Philosopher.
The Philosopher and The Fool.
I would argue that most of those crazy blue-haired feminists, like nose pierce earrings, those sorts of people, right? They probably had, in Invincible, Eve's father.
Yeah.
They probably had a father like that, right? You had this horrible tyrant loser destroying their lives. And so they take that and they extrapolate that to all families. They say the nuclear family is terrible and the family is the family that your friends are the family that you choose. And they ignore that whole...
It's funny you view Eve's father like that.
He is terrible. I know what they're going for.
Mm-hmm.
They want him to be protective and worried about his daughter. And they do have that one moment where she wakes up and he runs for the doctor. But he is unnecessarily combative in points where he has no reason to be. And in moments of potential redemption for him, where like Eve says, look, can we try this out? He says, I'm going to go get a beer. I can't stand this. They don't write him well enough to do what they want to do with him. The idea of him is a father who's worried about his daughter, but they actually make him just a bad father.
Well, so there's one other idea about him, which I think he's meant to be an honest man who builds the world with his hands. And his daughter's power, turning that apple into gold and giving it to him so he can afford things, violates his concept of being an honest man who earns his own keep in the world. And then that's shown, his whole philosophy thing is shown when she repairs those buildings and then they collapse because she didn't do it right. She basically doesn't do any of the work to get to what she can do. And so that was part of...
So my view has always been, like, if a teenager can upset you, you're not an adult. You're a loser. And the fact that she made that, he should say, like, I actually hate, like, every character in Invincible. Like, there is not a single healthy person in Invincible. The only person that maybe comes close is, like, Rex.
Or Omni-Man.
Or Omni-Man. Yeah, kind of, actually. Like, Omni-Man is actually able to think through things and change.
Yeah.
Whereas all the other characters are so bad at relationships. So, like, for example, when Mark first starts dating Amber, and he doesn't want to reveal... This isn't really spoilers, because this is...
Everyone hates Amber.
This is the foundation of the series, okay? Yeah. When he first starts dating her, and he's always late, and he's always busy, he always makes up an excuse. Instead of saying, look, I've got some very important things in my life I can't talk to you about, and they're going to make me late. If that works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Like, that's all he has to say, right?
Yeah.
And then she can probably guess he's a superhero from that, but she's going to guess anyways from the stuff he's doing. And they never have these conversations where, like, Cecil, he's trying to control the most dangerous person on Earth. He wants to keep the world safe. And so what does he do? He antagonizes him at every turn and makes petty remarks instead of saying, look, I know you feel this way, but please, I need you to do this.
Well, that's one other good character, Cecil's assistant.
Donald. Donald's decent too. But, and the gay robot man's pretty cool too. Mark's best friend's boyfriend.
Oh, yes.
But there's not much screen time with him. But he's pretty cool too, I think.
Yeah.
But every character just always takes the most hostile, petty, narcissistic, like, they're all terrible people. And I was reading a bit about it, and it's like, is there no therapist in this world? Like, so, like, it's like, nobody ever has a sensible... Immortal, I hate how he's written. I was talking about how Finran was written like a 2,000-year-old. Like, she's someone that's lived forever, and so nothing upsets her, right?
Yeah.
Immortal gets upset by everything. He should be like the rock that the rest of the world rests on, right?
Yeah.
He should be the guy that, like, he has an answer for everything because he's seen it all before. He's Vandal Savage. Like, he's seen it all. And instead they're like, oh, no. Like, he's like a man-child.
Yeah, he's a petty man-child instead of the amazing... Like, when Vandal Savage is written well...
Yeah.
One of the best characters. Like, my favorite writing in Vandal Savage is when Superman's launched into the future.
Yeah.
And Vandal Savage sends him back in time. But, like, he's insane.
I like the one... It wasn't actually Vandal Savage, because I don't think they had the rights to the character or something. But it's Booster Gold fights Vandal Savage... Essentially Vandal Savage. Mm. And then when Booster Gold was a night watchman in the future, before he got his powers, before he was a superhero, he was walking along and he spilled coffee on Vandal Savage, who's in the museum there. Mm. And Vandal Savage looks at him and he's like, oh, wait, we're not enemies yet. He's like, okay. And he just walks away. But he thought his old enemy was attacking him, but they were enemies in the future for Booster Gold, which is like 1,000 years ago. So it's this, but he has like that calm. He's like, wait, we're not enemies yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't like how they're written. But what was I saying? Right. I was just using Eve's father as the example there. I really don't think he's well written enough to do... None of the characters are really well written enough to do what they want to do, except Nolan, I think.
Yeah.
And
that's why people didn't like season 3 as much.
Cecil, I think, actually is well written, but the problem is, I think Cecil would be a lot more interesting if he was the only character. Because the thing about Cecil, right? He's been going against what he believes in for like 30 years.
Yeah.
That's going to break you and make you an irritable... Like, Cecil is a realistic character. You could have someone... Look, all you have to do is be nice to Mark, and the world will be safe, and instead you antagonize him at every turn, right? And that's a good character. It's like, this guy, his trust has ruined him, his time in prison has ruined him, his time dealing with backstabbing and betrayal, and he lost like all his friends, right? Yeah. And so I do think Cecil being a broken man who needs to step down and let Donald take charge for like 10 years, right?
Yeah, well also...
Cecil needs to retire.
One of the other problems with Cecil is he's basically the only man who's keeping the Earth running. Yeah. But, as you said, he's broken.
And so he's actually making it worse in a lot of ways.
But he's like, he's holding 1,000 strings and his arms are slowly getting torn off. Yeah. But if he lets go, without someone being there, Earth's screwed.
Yeah. But he does need... And so that's an interesting character. The problem is every other character is also as bad as him, and they have less excuse. And so it's like, it's a bit much. Yeah. And also the women, it's written by a guy. The women are terribly written. Like, I'm trying to think of a single woman. I can't think of a single woman in the series I think I like the writing of, except maybe Shrink Ray. Is that her name, or?
The woman who can shrink?
Yeah.
I don't remember her name.
Yeah. A shrinking, whatever her name is. The shrinking woman. She might be the only woman who's like written half okay. They're all written so terribly. Because they're all manic pixie dream girls. Like, every single one of them is a manic, except for Mark's mom. And
she's awful for different reasons.
And she's awful for different reasons. But all the other women are just these manic pixie dream girls. Like, every single one.
What's his face's, Mark's half-brother's mom was all right.
No, she's the same. Because she's the wise woman who gives... She's like 8 months old. And she tells Mark how to live his life and how to improve. She's like, no. And she's like the... You know the anime, like the dying mother who's like this perfect mother? That's her, right? Okay. She's this perfect, like, they are all, and in Jungian terms, they are all that third stage of women, where women are equal to men, but they're this mysterious other you can never understand, and they have wisdom that men cannot grasp. And none of them move past that, like, I forget what he calls that stage, but like...
None of them are stage 5, which is the... tomboy who scratches her butt and farts in your presence.
Yeah, exactly. None of them are the true Nietzschean tomboys. Stage 5. Yeah. No, they're all like Amber is this incredibly like, well, everything I do is correct and everything. And what I hate about her is she's like this social justice warrior. Like, actually, she walks the walk, though, right? Like she does the soup kitchen. So good for her for that. But then she also says, you know, I need some time for me as well. I can't just have the world, right? And it's like, yeah, so does Mark. You got to give the guy a break. Yes. He also needs to... You can't just get mad at him for trying to keep his identity separate. And
sorry, I'm just thinking of this comic of... It's a parody of Invincible. It's just a short comic. And it's like the Invincible series. And it shows Mark beat up, curled up in a ball, going, "Ree." And then cries.
Yeah, it's funny because he's like this nearly indestructible character. And every episode is just him getting beat to a pulp. He appears in season 3 just briefly out of nowhere. He's got like this red suit and like whitish skin, and he's like the guy in charge of when there's... I don't really want to spoil Invincible is actually pretty solid. I don't want to spoil it, but it's where Earth's in its greatest danger ever, right? And there's this guy. He's like telling everyone, like, he's the one kind of directing the superheroes at that point. And so I actually read a bit about him because there's like a shared universe that this author writes in. Yeah. And so that guy's power is he's invincible. Like, he's actually 100% invincible. Nothing else. Yeah. So what he does in his fights basically is like, you know, he'll get punched by Omni-Man or something, right? And he'll just keep getting punched until Omni-Man gets tired, basically.
Omni-Man doesn't get tired.
Yeah, but like that's how this guy beats like his foes basically. He's 100% invincible. And so it's just...
He's 100%.
Yeah. It is really neat that Invincible is written by the author of the comic books. Yeah. Like, so the TV show is made by the guy that does the comics.
And they got to rewrite some things that they messed up on.
And also, like, he became a much better writer as, like, 25 years later.
Yes.
So he's able to make the because apparently the early comics aren't that good.
No.
But he's able to make them like
Well,
on par.
apparently the early comics he really couldn't write women.
Wow, because they're terrible now. So
Yeah, no, like apparently all the female characters were god awful.
so yeah, so it's definitely neat that it's kind of like the series of unfortunate events where you get the author, bunch more experience under his belt, can redo the bits that didn't work, make it flow better. And he also has fun with it, which I like.
Yeah.
Like that section where they meet him in the book, and he's like, "Yeah, sometimes we'll use a different art style, and they don't even notice." And then it like switches to like very Asian looking, and sometimes we hide their mouths, and then Marx has a bag of chips, and he's like, "Oh, really?"
Yeah, for all the animation stuff.
Yeah, and it seems to have a huge budget because they definitely like the fight scenes are great.
The budget has been slowly reduced.
The voice actors are ridiculous. They have Peter Cullen alone must cost millions. Like Thaddeus, the leader of the Intergalactic Council.
Yeah.
That's Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
Like he's got to cost millions on his own.
Or Omni-Man?
Oh yeah, they've got like Spider-Man dude.
J. Jonah Jameson.
The fight, I won't give spoilers about the fight, but there is a fight between a character named Conquest and the main character Mark.
Yeah.
And the voice actors, the author of Invincible is also the creator of The Walking Dead. He wrote those comics as well. And in the Walking Dead TV series, there's a fight between the voice actor for Conquest and the voice actor for Mark, and they fight in that. And so he actually specifically hired the voice actor for Conquest to be that guy so that they could have a rematch in this other series by him.
That's funny.
Yeah, so he just like, I really like this guy, gotta get him in. The one thing he does I don't like, and I hate that this is a trend, it's been in video games too. Mark isn't Korean in the comics.
No.
And who's the other character?
Amber was a ginger.
Amber's like blonde or ginger or something.
No, she was blonde, right?
Yeah.
Adam is ginger, Amber's blonde.
Yeah. And the reason for that, it's not a woke diversity reason. That's not why they changed their races. So that one I'm okay with. Or rather, it's not that problem. It's actually a problem that happened with Hideo Kojima's latest game as well, Death Stranding.
They're trying to make the characters look
They
like
want the characters
voice
look like
actor.
the voice actors.
Ah.
And I hate that. It's like, it's an animation. You don't have to do that.
What's weird is Omni-Man looks like that in the comics.
Yeah, so they didn't do... Well, they did it with like the people of like Earth races, I think. So they're like...
Yeah, no, but what's weird is Omni-Man's voice actor looks like Omni-Man.
Right.
But Omni-Man looks like that in the comics.
Right. Oh, that's kind of fun.
It's actually this interesting thing about... I can't remember his name right now, but the voice actor for Omni-Man and J. Jonah Jameson...
Yeah.
Is all his characters, the original character when they're conceptualized, look like him.
Yeah.
And in very few cases, they were designed to look like him. It's just, he voice acts characters that is...
Maybe
It's like a teleology of that human form.
he was created for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, why is he the voice actor? Because he was created for it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or it could be...
He also just has an insane range.
The,
Omni-Man could also be based on J. Jonah Jameson, slightly.
And I really... All the comic books that he reads that show like the weaknesses of the Viltrumites, those are like characters from his other series as well.
Those aren't comic books, those are Omni-Man's books.
Yeah, but like the characters in those books are actually characters from his other comic books, essentially. So they're all... so that's kind of fun. But, yeah, so the problem with Sargon's argument is that in a world full of broken people or abusive people, especially like this, the world Sargon imagines is amazing until you introduce narcissism, and then it's hell. And that was the 1920s.
Yeah.
In a way. And that was why we had this huge revolution against it. And so the problem is, if you create a system that people desperately want to rebel against, you haven't fixed anything.
Yeah.
And so you need a solution to that, which I think the solution to that is you leave room for freedom, not as an end, but as a or not as a means even, as a safety valve. So it's exactly what Jordan Peterson said. You need hierarchy, but all hierarchies tend towards corruption. And so the solution, once again, is the path, right? Yeah. The infinite stair, the path along the yin yang, which is you need to have order, you need to have those bonds between family and friends, but you also need the freedom to get away from tyranny and to overthrow old systems and to not let the ruler be a tyrant and to stand up for yourself, set boundaries, not have whatever that horrible mess in Invincible is.
You need to go into the underworld and rescue your father.
The only way for... You ever think about, like, when we were growing up, right? And it seemed like the only way you could communicate an idea was by hurting someone else. And what I mean by that is, like, someone's hurting you. So you hurt them in return in an equivalent fashion to say, see how you are hurting me.
Yeah.
And I even had a moment where...
That's why I'd bite myself.
To, like, stop yourself from doing that? Or...
It was to inflict it on myself instead of someone else. And that's why I'd punch walls or punch myself. But it was because the only way I had to express my pain and frustration was by causing harm to someone else. But I didn't want anyone else to be hurt, so I'd inflict it on myself.
But it's more than that. Like, it would be like I think that is part of it for sure. But it's like someone eats, you made a pie, you're really excited to have it, and then you got called away to business, you're busy, and then someone eats your pie, right?
Yeah.
And so the next time they buy a pie and they're home and like, oh man, I can't wait. You eat that on purpose, even though they specifically asked you not to, just to show them how you felt so they could understand your pain.
That was never for me. It was always physical violence for me. Was the way to express that.
But was that physical still the expression of that pain?
Yes,
like,
the physical violence was the expression of that pain, and I started inflicting it on myself instead of others.
But then,
to avoid hurting others.
Does that also become, let's say someone eats your pie, and you see them do it, and you're like, and you punch a hole through the wall. And then you have that hope. Now they see how sad I am because they saw me punch a hole through that wall, and so therefore they feel bad because they punched that hole through the wall. Because they made me punch that hole through a wall. That is actually like a catchphrase in Invincible, is look what you made me do.
Yeah,
Also, Mark's a pussy. Like, kill people. Come on, what's wrong with you?
No, I never had that Malthusian cluster B.
Machiavellian here?
No, Malthusian. Malthusian? Yeah, Methuselah.
Like the cricket man?
No, Malthusian. It's a term.
Yeah, but there's Malthus, who believed that populations grew faster than food supply. There's Methuselah, who was cursed with immortality. There's Machiavelli, who believed in manipulation. And it feels like Machiavelli would be the correct one.
Maybe it's Machiavellian.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Yeah.
I never had the, look at what you made me do.
Yeah.
It was pure rage and anger to inflict pain. And what I discovered is it didn't matter if I inflicted the pain on someone else or myself. It's just that pain needed to be inflicted. And so that's why I'd inflict on myself.
Because it turns out, though, that you can just say, like, hey, man, I was looking forward to that pie. Next time, I'll try to let you know that pie's mine, but also, like, could you, like, buy me a pie or something? Make up, just like, you can actually just say what you want.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was something, until even very recently for me, I'm still bad at it, but I was terrible at it. And it was funny, though, because, like, I think I'm still terrible at it, but one of my coworkers, this was in the summer, I wanted to do something. I was like, I want the secretary to come with us and just go shooting, right? I was like, I just want to go shooting with her. But her work hours don't really work out that way. And I was like, well, we can just ask the boss, and, we can just ask him if we're allowed to do that. Yeah. And so she's like, okay, but you phone. I didn't have my phone on me. And she's like, okay, go get your phone and you phone him. I was like, well, why? She's like, well, because he loves you. He'll do whatever you ask. I was like, is that what you think? I'm terrified every time I ask him for something, but he agrees when I ask him. Like, I just ask for what I want, and then I get it. It's not like I think he'll do. It's not like I'm manipulating him to agree or anything. It's just like, if I want something, I ask for it, and then I get it.
To be honest with your boss, you just ask him something, and there's like a 75% chance he'll get it.
Yeah, anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, also, we do get along, so there is that. But I do think
it's amazing how much you can get by just asking.
It's just like, and I'm terrified. Like, I hate asking for stuff. But when I asked to go to part-time, I was like, hey, can I do 30? I said, yeah.
No, the Bible honestly blew my brain. Like, it blew my mind of the ask and
you shall receive, knock
and the door will open.
Yeah.
It's like that blew my brain. And then I just started trying that and doing that. And then the whole, like, don't mind read people thing and, like, don't assume things has served me. So, like, this whole time I've been moving into this place. We're in a new place right now. Our mom and stepdad have been doing things.
Yeah.
Like, moving stuff, like, went into my room and gathered up a bunch of stuff while I was in there. I was sitting at the desk playing computer games.
Yeah.
And like part of me is like, I felt guilty. I'm just sitting here playing video games. It's like, I had a long day today. I have a cold. And then our mom said, it's very gracious of you to let us do this. Like to let us move the stuff out of the room. It's like, and she's, you're doing a great job accepting our help.
And that could be the most like, that's not our mom, but that could be the most backwards like, how dare you. But that's not what she's like at all.
No.
Our stepdad though, like our mom is this super giving person.
Yeah.
And our stepdad is very protective of her.
Yeah.
And so he worries all the time that people are taking advantage of her. So he's always like with that, like I've had him take me aside before and be like, you know, shouldn't you be helping her? It's like, I didn't actually ask her to do this in the first place. So, and it used to be, we'd have like I'd have these huge arguments with him. And then I'd go and talk to her and I'd be like, I'm so sorry that I'm making you help me. And she'd be like, what? I want to help you.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Could you guys have that conversation?
Well, those conversations probably made things easier for me.
Yeah.
But it's the very thing though of it's like, I don't have to assume any of these things. I don't have to do these mind readings. It's these.
Yeah. And
it's like, and I've told both of them, it's like, you want me to do something, ask. Because until that point, like, don't be hopeful, like peering around the corner, hoping I'll do something for you. Because I'm not. Because I lived like that for 20 years. No, more than, I lived like that. I'm 26, right? Yes.
Yeah, something like that.
So I lived like that for 22 years, basically. And it nearly killed me.
No, it does.
It destroyed...
And
it destroyed me as a person. And so if I want to do something for someone, I'll go ahead and do it. And I'm not going to try to predict it. Like last night, I was here and it's like, it would be cool to record this podcast in my new place.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, would Cameron still be up? Well, when we did the live Fool and the Philosopher, he said he stays up late. It's not past 11. I'm going to go knock on his door.
Yeah.
And it's like, part of me was thinking, it's like, oh, he, like 5 years ago or something, he's like, don't randomly show up and disturb my life. And it's like, he's over that. And if not, he'll tell me.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about that actually, like afterwards, because I didn't think about it until quite a bit later, but I was thinking, it's, yeah, like you said, I could just say, it's a weird one, right? Because there's two parts to it. I never said, hey, well, I kind of did actually in a way, but, so actually maybe I did, but I didn't quite say explicitly like, hey, I can handle people dropping in on me now. Like, I don't think I quite explicitly said that, but you showing up is kind of, it's a completely different way to reframe it in my head rather than, and this is where, Sargon and the SJWs both fail to have answer, I think. But I'm not sure. Because you can look at it as if this person's constantly pushing my boundaries, right? They're constantly like, I set these boundaries and yet they're always trying to sneak over the line through some other new method, right? They're like, oh, but it's a new place and oh, but like there's always a new way to sneak around and do it. And that was how I felt like during the pandemic where it's like, oh yeah, well, but you didn't say that for like just dropping off this mail or this present or doing, and then it's like, oh, he's always trying to find something new to do. I have to like nail out and like the Code of Hammurabi isn't enough. I need to give like 20 subclauses just to protect myself from all these loopholes and whatnot. But the other way to look at it is, hey, he thinks you're doing better, and he knew that was caused by a problem, and he's like, oh, I think he's doing better, and so it's like a trust, like, oh, I trust this guy that he's doing better, and oh, I was wrong, okay, and then oh, I think he's doing better now, oh, I was wrong, okay, and there's like two different ways to look at it, and one is very like poisonous and angry and spiraling downwards, and one is very like, wow, they think I'm doing so much better that they think I can handle this. And even if you were wrong, you're at least saying, in a sense, I think he's so much better that even if I'm wrong about this, I can say, oh yeah, sorry, no problem, I'll be on my way, right? And I'll just say, oh, yeah, sorry, I've just got out of bed and I'm done for the night, and it's like, okay, yeah, and so yeah, it's and there's a line in Fritz Lieber, is it Fritz Lieber? I think so, in Fafford and the Grey Mouser, where Fafford says, like Fafford breaks an oath he made when he was like 16, basically. And he's a part of a culture, and he is also a person who takes oaths very seriously. And he purposely breaks this oath. And he says, I made that oath when I was young and foolish, and I am now a man. And that oath no longer applies to the man I am now. Because that was an oath for a young and foolish 16-year-old, and he honored that oath but I am not that man anymore. I'm someone new.
Yeah.
Right. And this is sort of like doing it for someone else, which in one way you say, well, you don't have the right to do that for someone else. But in another way, we aren't automatons with programs that you can just do till while.
Yeah.
And you need some bit of, but it's a very slippery slope to destroying all boundaries.
Yes.
So it's not what I'm sure the answer to right now. And I will say right now, I guess.
Well, it also went off various different bits of there's many layers to it, and we could like hammer down a bunch of different points. But for me, it went off two things basically. The first was we joked about how it's hard to get the contact of you, and you want to hang out with people. So there should just be a bar you go to every Friday night where people can talk with you. And so that was my one thought on that. And the other was, if he wants me to leave, he'll say it.
Well, and the other thing was, it's a very different circumstance. So you were talking about the looming around, waiting for someone to need you or whatever, right? I hate when people do that to me so much. I hate watching this person out of the corner of my eye while I'm trying to enjoy something, just like looming there. And it's So when you would come over when I was at our mom's place, the problem was I lost my space, and I had like 2 hours of energy a week, if that, I to myself. And if I was dropped in, and I had to gather it, like charging, like, woo, and I had to concentrate to gather that.
Yeah.
And so I could barely advance my own life. And so if someone dropped out, like a relative or you, or like people just came in out of nowhere, and dropped in, charging's gone, I lose half a month, potentially, just from that one visit. And so it's this careless thing on their part where they're like, oh yeah, okay, you're busy. Or not. But to me, it was, I don't get 2 weeks now. My life was just set back 2 weeks or more. Right?
Yeah.
It's like, you have cost me the only thing I have control over in my life, and you don't even care. Like, that drives you to rage, right? And sadness and sorrow and like. But that's because you come and occupy my space. I have a place of my own. Yeah. I have a door I can slam in your face.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. And so it is a different circumstance. Mm-hmm. And I think also, just to say it, to make it I think that I don't want everyone all the time knocking on my door. I think. Like, every day. Well, I don't know if I'd even mind it that much, honestly. But your judgment and you dropping by, like, that was totally fine. And I think that's something I could say as my boundary, is if you ever want to knock on the door and be like, hey, you want to hang out? As long as the answer can be yes or no.
Yeah.
Is totally.
The answer can always be yes or no. That's the most important part.
But that's the problem with Sargon's thing. It can't be. Because when you have these bonds with these toxic people, like Eve's dad, right? Yeah. The answer can't be yes or no. There is a correct answer.
Yeah. No, but that's the most important.
And that's the problem with the entire Invincible universe. Every single question in that world, every single interaction, there's a correct way to respond and an incorrect way to respond. It's not people doing what they like and letting the people that align with them doing what they like become their friends. We have to do this horrible mishmash of, I have to try to guess you and you have to try to guess me, and we hate each anyways.
Yeah, that's the most important thing of the knocking the door will open, asking will receive. You knock on the door, and it opens. I told you to get out of here, scumbag. Slam. Ask and you'll receive. Hey, can I have your piece of cake? No.
Yeah, you have to accept both answers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if
it doesn't, like, that whole thing is, you pray to God for something, and you've asked. And you will receive. Doesn't mean God's going to grant you a wish. It doesn't mean you're going to get what you want.
You'll receive a no, you'll receive a yes.
At least you've asked, and you don't go insane hoping for something to happen, or hoping someone will clean the kitchen for you, or hoping someone will do a favor for you, or hoping someone will make supper for you because you had a long day and you're tired, and it'd be really nice if they made supper for you when you got home. But no, instead they're playing worthless video games. How dare they do that when all you've sacrificed for them, and they're just sitting there playing worthless video games.
I still am having troubles, now that I have a place of my own, where I'll be playing and I'll hear like a creak on the doorstep, or like I'll hear like the neighbors like bang something by accident, and I'll think someone's coming into the place, and I have to put away the video games, and I have to be ready to serve them at any moment, and just do, you know the feeling where you're doing nothing, you're just kind of in this holding pattern waiting for someone to tell you what to do, and you're just sort of like you kind of want to half play a video game, but you can't really enjoy it, and you're half waiting to cook supper, but you can't really do that, and you're just like hovering in like this, and it's hell. And
I started doing this thing, which apparently it didn't work. But it worked for me, and that's all that mattered, which is, for a while when I was living with her dad, I was like, I want to spend more time with him.
Yeah.
So he'd be in the living room, and I would pick up the laptop and leave the computer room, and I'd go in the living room and sit on opposite couch from him and play video games there.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't spend time with me. What?
Yeah.
Excuse me?
And I think the solution to that may be, well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff there, obviously. But I think one of the things for that, again, with that ask and you shall answer, that's mind reading in a sense what you're doing, right? So you say, hey, I want to spend some time with you. Could I just sit across from you and play video games? Would that be something nice we could do together? And it's like, it doesn't really make a difference to me because that doesn't count as interaction to me. Or, oh, that'd be nice. And then you know that you're actually doing that thing. So that would be there. But the other thing is, if he says, no, that doesn't really work for me, you're like, oh, okay.
And then I can
do something else. Or you can either find another way to spend time with him, or you can say, okay, I guess I don't want to spend time with him for whatever. Like, if it's too hard to spend time with you, okay, I'm not going to do it, right? And so you can have an option there. Yeah. And that's the thing with me asking my boss, hey, can the secretary come shoot with us, right? There's the great thing about boundaries and asking and being able to say yes or no. It doesn't mean that you're losing out, right? Like, if you're like, yeah, but if we have this world where everyone can just say no to each other, then I'm going to lose all my friends and family because they won't actually, if they don't feel sorry for me, they're not going to hang out with me, right? It's like, good. You don't want people who are hanging out with you just to feel sorry for you. So if I say, hey, can the secretary come shoot with us? And the boss says, no, that's crazy. You can't do that. Then I'll say, okay, good to know. I'm going to find a different boss that lets me do this, right? I don't have to say that to him. I can just keep that in my head of like, I want to find a boss. Or I can say, no, he says we can't do this. And oh, thank goodness, I didn't want to do it anyways. Like, you always, and the boss, if I say I want to find a different boss now in my head, and then I go and I look for a new job and find a different boss, the boss goes, finally, I don't have that stupid person that keeps asking me to do all these crazy things. Like, everyone wins when you say what you actually want. You will destroy your relationships you have right now. Destroy them as in, it doesn't mean the people will go away. It means you'll break the relationships and you'll have to reforge them in a different and new way. But that relationship will be a much healthier one, and you will actually meet the people you want to have a relationship with. Yeah. Which is why principles matter so much. Because when you hold to your principles, you actually attract the people that you hold to your principles. Instead of sucking up to someone that you think's really cool, and then you learn that they're not, and then you're trapped with them. Yeah. Like, that's how marriages end horribly, right? And this is why manic pixie dream girls are awful. And this is why Jung says you need that stage 5 tomboy, right? Because if a girl, because as men do this, I think it's just...
Stage 4 is she's your wife, but she doesn't poop.
Stage 4 is Mary. Is Mary the final stage? I can't remember. That stage 4 is... Anyways. When you make a woman... limerence is the modern term. But it's basically you have a love for someone that you might not even know that very well, but every quality about them becomes positive. It's like a super crush, right? And that means that the person you're sucking up, you're like, this person's perfect and I want everything to do with them. If you actually sit down so imagine, you've probably had this. I just want to finish this thought, okay? If I think you might have had this even. I've had this. There's a person you have a crush on, or right? You're like, this is amazing. And you're like, okay, you spend some time alone together. You're both sitting like across from each other on the couch or something. You're like, so, you read? No. You like watching anime? They ask you, and you're like, no. You want to go for a walk? No, I'm not much for walking. And it's like, wait, I don't know this person at all, and we don't actually get along.
No, the most annoying part of that is you have that interaction with them, and they're a total dullard, or you're just not compatible, but they're still really cute, and you have a crush on them, and you're like, ah!
So there's a person, I think she's a good friend of mine, actually, and I think she's like the second most beautiful person on earth. And after that angel we met. Yeah. Because we saw an angel, like a literal angel as far as I'm concerned. Do you remember that at the ice cream store?
Yep.
Like, I don't think that was immortal. Like that. Like, I don't even know what she looked like. I just know when she smiled, I felt my heart racing, and I was like, "Whoa, what's going on here?" Like, that was weird. Like, it was supernatural. So this person's the second most beautiful. Like, people talk about these actors, and they're like, "Oh, I love the bug-eyed
fish eyes.
I love the fish-eyed Sydney Sweeney, and this actor's so Margot Robbie, and her skeleton face is so attractive." And like, they talk like all these, but even like the really attractive actors and like the really attractive models and everything, like they don't compare to this friend of mine. Yeah. But and she was actually kind of moderately close at one point, and I think we still like get along pretty good. Like I haven't seen her in ages, but we were I don't know. We probably could have had a relationship if either of us had pursued it even just a little bit at one point. And I think she might have been even a bit more interested than I was. But I'm not sure about that. And if she listens, I'm sorry to put words in your mouth or anything. It's very, very awkward, so please don't listen. But I asked her a question once, like, what are your hobbies, right? I was, we're just getting to know, like, we're just hanging out a little bit. It's like, yeah, because, when you go on dates, we weren't going on dates, but when you go on dates with people or you hang out with people, you're doing something. Yeah. Hey, you want to go for a walk? Yeah, sure. Hey, you want to go catch a movie? Yeah. You want to go to this restaurant? Yeah. You're doing something with that person. And so when you chase that limerence person, you're always like, and they're like, oh, I love anime, and you don't like anime. They're like, well, I'll watch anime then so I can be with them, and I want to be, right? So you're always aiming for them. Then you marry them because you succeeded in tricking them into liking you. And then you don't ask the question I did when I was talking to her. I was like, so, what are your hobbies? She's like, oh, I don't really have any. Well, that's boring. I was like, I don't want, I was like, that is so boring. Like, you don't have anything you're interested in, really. You just sit there. Like, you come home from work and you just sit there and, like, scroll on your phone or something. Like, now, I think that's probably not true, and it's probably more you don't think of it on the spot, or you're embarrassed about them. Like, oh, I really like to read or something, right? Like, if that could be embarrassing for her to say. So, but when she's like, I think she likes watching movies, right? And I think she's quite into movies and Star Wars and stuff. But when she told me that, like, I was just like, wow, that is dull.
So, I was doing a house assessment for an old Japanese couple.
Yeah.
And they're both, I think, in their 60s or 70s. And it's kind of like, it's actually a very common thing to see in Asians that live in North America. Of the man is very skinny, and the wife has gotten a little dumpy.
Yeah.
And they're both like very nice people, and both have good smiles. So I'm there, I'm talking with them, and the husband's way better at English than his wife.
Yeah.
And we're interacting, and then I go and do something. And the two of them would talk to each other in Japanese.
Yeah.
And they would just giggle and laugh and look at each other like this way. And like, they would make jokes, and then like his wife started like, they're both old people. Yeah. Like a schoolgirl slapped him on the shoulder repeatedly, and he just started laughing uproariously about it. And then it wasn't even like he would say stuff and she would laugh. She would say like some quip in Japanese, like a quick sentence, and he'd just like start chuckling and laugh about it. And it's like, that's like the sort of wife you want to have, is like that there, like that relationship there. Where
you actually love each other for each other, and not for this vision of the person in your mind that has none of the flaws and has all the positives that maybe they don't even have in their mind at all. Yeah. You're like, well, a person that beautiful must care about their fitness, and they're like, nah, just natural, and I don't really like. Yeah. You want to, actually, no, I don't even know. Yeah. What time is it?
3:30.
I should probably wrap it up there. Actually, then, yeah. I'm sure that thought was leading somewhere, but
it's leading you towards a man with a mustache. That's his tradition.
Nolan?
No, it's a little smaller. A little toothbrushed.
Charlie Chaplin.
Yes. All right, we'll leave there.
Okay.